What's up, YouTube? Once again, Windows is the bane of my existence. Let's see. Go ahead and get this shared out. Windows has been killing me, man. I'm about to have to basically buy another computer because the machine I use to edit my videos on has been dying almost every other week. So bear with me one second while I get this shared out. Apologize for the tardiness. The Barry White of tech. What's going on, man? Yeah, man. If y'all could share this out, I can't even tell if this is using the same link as the one I sent out before, but appreciate everybody who did find their way to me. Oh yeah, man. I got him with the keys, bro. Got the chat going. What is up? What is up? I'm gonna take up too much of y'all time. I appreciate y'all. I know this is a weird time, 2 p.m. People at work. You know, either you're at work, your day is about to end, or your day is just beginning. But this is the best time slot that worked out for me, and I just had to get this info out there. See, it's 2:04. I'm gonna give it another 2 minutes. I've been live for 2 minutes. Let people get in and send this link out to folks. Appreciate you, Phone Tech at Work, man. You always working behind the scenes. Man, we putting in that work, pushing us like P. Diddy, man. Team 100 in the building. What's going on, Sage? What's up, Munchie? RP3, 6 Lewis, Demetrius. What's going on, Mob? Phone Tech. Hey, baby. I see you. Yeah, man. So we're gonna be talking about the Note 10. This is a dummy. This is not I'm not at that status yet. As Easy would say, I'm not a tech god yet, so I don't have that access to have stuff before it drop. One day maybe, if I can continue to get stuff out. But yeah, man. So if you're gonna be getting a Note 10 or you're just feeling the Note 10, go ahead and drop in the chat which one you feeling. I want to get an idea of what everybody is leaning towards, because I got a lot of thoughts. This year is very interesting. I think on the surface it seems, everybody's releasing 2 phones. They always released 2 S devices. They released 3 this year. Apple has their 2 phones. Google has their 2 phones. So I don't think that it was that big of a deal, but the way that they released the phones, I think, means something. And we're going to talk about that. What's going on, Mob? Hey, Demetrius, Chris, Demetrius, they frat, man. Demetrius is my ace. But all right, so Sage says Note 10 Plus 512. So Sage trying to stun on people. I see you. RP3 says the 10 Plus is the only true Note. Hey, I mean, I think you said a mouthful, man. That's the way I feel. I think that's the way Samsung wants you to feel. But I think that this year the innovation, if you look at it, the majority, if you just look at the hardware, there was almost no hardware innovation. Really, it was a removal of things, right? And then they made some changes that I think are interesting, just within themselves. But let's see. Yeah, we 5 minutes in, so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. If you would, before I get going, though, hit that thumbs up button. If you're not sub, go ahead and sub. I'll be dropping videos here, and yeah, man, we about to get into it. So the Galaxy Note 10. So the dummy unit I have is the Baby Note 10. Baby Note do. All right, the Baby Note 10, and as you can tell, it is tiny, right? I have big hands. I got man hands, but this phone to be a Note, it is little, right? For comparison, um, this is a LG V35, basically LG's smaller phone. Um, what else I got? Oh, let me get this. And, all right. So I think for a more interesting comparison, comparing it to iPhones, because that's kind of what the Note is always made fun of. So this is an iPhone XR up next to it. As you can see, the Note isn't that much bigger, but this is an iPhone 8 up next to it. And yeah, the iPhone 8 is small, but this is the baby iPhone, right? This phone is normally tiny. So for comparison, I took a look at the Note 10, looked at it at Best Buy, and the Note 10 has the same screen size. It's basically the same size as the OnePlus 7 Pro, which I have right here. I got the blue, that awesome blue color. So the big Note 10 is about the same size as the OnePlus 7 Pro. And if you look, if I turn it right side up, if you look, even the big one physically is going to be that much bigger than the smaller one. But the display is the same size. And the Note 10 is a little bit boxier, so it has a little bit different profile. But as far as like physical size, like it has a 6.8 inch screen, and it's, I don't know, in the hand it feels interesting because it's the opposite of pretty much every phone you've bought in the past 2-3 years, unless you've been rocking a Razr phone or something like that. The phone has corners. Like the phone feels like a notepad almost. Like if you had a hard glass notepad, that's kind of what it feels like. They made it pretty light. I think ergonomically it feels good in the hands. It's weighted well. It's not real top heavy, so you don't feel insecure holding it in your hand. The most interesting thing was probably the software. That's a plus. I'll say there's some minuses too. Most interesting thing was probably the software. They put a lot of effort into One UI and refining it and all that stuff. But really, that's mostly what you're getting. You're just getting software features, S Pen features, and they worked well. I went through all the ones that I could remember. I tried to test them out. So I did all the S Pen gestures, and they worked very well. I think the execution is good. There's no weird, sensor. You don't have to be positioned a certain kind of way because the S Pen has a gyroscope in it, a 6-axis gyroscope. It knows when you're moving it. It knows how you're moving it. If you're like, it's not a very, I think some people feel like you're going to have to be, I think by default, they assume for one, it's not going to work. It's not going to work the first time. So you have to do a lot of, movements to get stuff done, but it's very discreet. Like, if you're got the phone, maybe from here to my camera and you want to do something, probably something like that will be recognized. Like you want to flip it up, like basically it's moving your wrist is enough to activate it. And it was pretty consistent. Like I say, I was surprised. The other software thing that I was most excited about was they call it live focus video, but basically it's like portrait video or that shallow depth of field you would get with a DSLR with a really shallow lens. That feature worked surprisingly well. I was in Best Buy, so it was pretty bright in there. I don't know how it would handle lower light, but I will say, even for it to be good lighting, that front camera looks good. Like especially for video, that front camera looks really good. I was shocked. There's, especially with this being a single sensor, there's no second sensor or third depth sensing or anything like that. Like the cutout was pretty good. They had some different effects that you can use on it, and they all worked pretty well. At one point, somebody was walking behind me, and as they passed from behind me, they were colored for a second, like a split second. Then they snapped them back to black and white. And it was very consistent with blurring out things. Like I would kind of hold stuff a little bit, in a field a little bit behind me, and it would blur it like very consistently, no matter how I moved it. So I was pretty impressed with that. Seeing like that's really what Samsung was focusing on. The design, I mean, they made it easy on themselves. They got rid of the headphone jack. They got rid of the micro SD card slot on the small one. So they have plenty of room in the phone. They even got rid of the top. I don't think anybody's really talking about it, but at least on the 10 Plus, on my dummy, there's a little indentation up here for a speaker grill. On the 10 Plus, there is no, like, I didn't even see that. Like, there's no speaker grill on there. It's just there's a hole in the top, and there's a second speaker on the top of the phone. So you have one speaker on the bottom and one on the top. So you get the super stereo sound. It sounds good. It's not super loud. If you got a OnePlus 7 Pro, it sounds very similar to the OnePlus 7 Pro as far as quality, but the Pro does get a little bit louder. I will say that. But it gets plenty loud. If you're not in Best Buy and got large, industrial size HVAC running and stuff like that, I think that it'll be pretty good. Let's see, hop back on the chat. Let's see what's going on, Sean. Bill 9 in the building. What's going on, Kia? KB, keeping it real. Tech for your needs. What's up? So Bill Nye says if that Note 10 that small, it's just a Post-it note or a sticky pad. It says not a real notepad. Yeah, man. I feel like this is the disappointment. I feel like they have a sleeper on their hands. If they would have done this phone right, and I'll get into it in a second, but if they would have made this phone right, it would have been a sleeper phone, because there's a segment of people that don't want a humongous phone. And that is literally something that keeps them away from devices. People don't care that much about specs, but as far as when they pick it up and they don't feel like they can use it, that's going to stop them from buying it. And I feel like because they kind of neutered the smaller version in an attempt to make you feel like RP3 was saying, the real Note is the 10 Plus. The 10 Plus has the micro SD card slot. The 10 Plus has the QHD screen. The 10 Plus does have the higher configuration options. So I think they kind of missed the mark with this phone. And also it's kind of slap in the face. So if you look at, I'm not even going to compare it to the OnePlus because they have a totally different business model, right? The OnePlus is ridiculous for what you're getting. But just look at 1,000, well, let's be specific, $949.99. That's what the small one starts out at. You have a 1080p screen in 2019 for $949. That's what Samsung is putting out there. That's immediately a deterrent. Immediately, anybody trying to sell a device, if you're trying to differentiate between two, people are going to say, hey, it's only $100 more, but you get a better screen and you get micro SD and you get a bigger battery. And, so I really feel like they're trying to sell you on the bigger device. But this one feels amazing. Like if they made a phone that was this size, that had all the power, all the specs, and the real slap in the face comes because if you get the regular S10, it has a QHD screen, right? This phone is the same size as the S9 Plus. And the S9 Plus has bigger battery. Well, I think they have the same size battery. S9 Plus has the same size battery, but it has a higher resolution screen. And it has micro SD. And granted, you don't have the S Pen silo and all that stuff, but just having a phone that's basically a small phone that's super powerful, we don't really have that in Android. And I think this phone, if they would have made this phone, I'll say $750. If they would have made this phone $750, it would have been a really big deal. I think they would have put a lot of pressure on, because the Pixels are coming out and they are going to be astronomical. They're already talking about doing crazy stuff. They're saying it's going to have a 90 hertz display and DSLR attachments and all that stuff. Google will slap everybody. They're going to compete with Apple with the price this year. And Apple going to do what they do. And they do it almost the best. They're going to charge out the ass. It's going to be astronomical. Right? I think the Note's are priced, I think, for the larger Note, for the specs and the software suite and the functionality you're getting, I think $1,100 starting or $1,049 starting is that's decent. I think because normally that would be a top spec option, right? Base 256 gigs. That used to be like just last year, that was one of the higher spec models, and now it's the base model for that same price. So I feel like that price is appropriate. You do get the micro SD card. You get a 4,300 milliamp hour battery, 6.8 inch, super AMOLED display. You get the pen. You get the best of Samsung. The only problem is the best is not good enough. I'll say this: holding the the OnePlus 7 Pro next to the Note 10, I felt no desire to get the Note 10. Once you go on 90 hertz, it's very difficult to go back. The Note 10 looked like it was glitching. Like I literally closed and opened a couple apps several times, like looking through Chrome and stuff like that, loading websites. Once you start scrolling, it's night and day. It's only a 30 hertz difference, but once you see the 90 hertz, it's night and day, man. Really. See how back in the chats. So my wife says she likes it smaller, which I can understand that. Like I said, this is a very comfortable option. For real. Since Lewis says, wait on eBay, they'll have the baby Note at that price. And that's, man, I'm an S Pen user, right? I love S Pen. I got a Tab S4 and I stay with the Samsung tablets, partially because they're the only high-end Android tablet you can get. But also it's just having access to the S Pen. I've been taking notes for years on multiple notes. It's only like 1 or 2 notes that I haven't had. But just having access to that pen. And also, I mean, these things are a fingerprint magnet. And I just like having my device clean. The S Pen helps out with that too. That's kind of small, but that's just something I like about it. But just having something that's this manageable in your hand and to have it be that powerful and have a great camera, like it really would be closer to like that iPhone feel. Like you got a lot of storage, you got a lot of power, you got a great camera, you got a great screen. That would really, really compete with the iPhone. And that's really what the Note is going up against. Like the S series, by the time the iPhone comes out, the S series has come out and everybody's Galaxy S is already slowing down. It's not even, they don't even pair those up really, especially after this year. The fact that they have 2 Notes and they're hitting kind of very similar price points as Apple, it's gonna be rough. Let's see what's going on, Chris Porter. Let's see. Shallow says I would buy a small Note Plus over the the gigant. I think I'm trying to say a gigantuan version. I will say this: looking at YouTube on the Note 10 Plus, that's a thing. That's something. Like it's striking because that display, because the screen is so uniform and the bezels are so thin going all the way around it, and the screen goes literally like edge to edge in every direction. Like there are other phones that do that, but they're round, so it doesn't really fill out the same way. But having that video like not be cropped, not be stretched or anything like that, and go edge to edge, corner to corner, it looks nice. Media consumption, that looks nice. And the little pinhole, it's there. It doesn't really get in the way that much, but it is there. It's something to consider. Let's see. So Chris Porter says do collab with 267 Tech. We have to see, man. So Kia said I'm going to get a Tab S6. The Tab S6 is going to be a beast. Because I've been having computer problems. Like I was trying to edit a video last night on my laptop, and it's older, and I didn't get it as a video editing rig, so it's struggling, man. I'm trying to do 4K 60 video, and even just like Premiere is not, it's a resource hog. I'm gonna have to do something else. But I was able to get Adobe Rush on my Tab S4, and I was trying to figure out some sort of workflow with it to where I could at least, even if I had to simplify my videos a little bit, I'd be willing to shoot my videos in a certain way if I could output them at a good quality on the tablet. But even that is still not really working. But the Tab S6 is a real deal, especially if you get a good deal on it. It's the best Android tablet to come. It's not out yet, but it's coming. 267 in the building. What's going on, bro? Said, what's up? Just came here to support the show. Appreciate it. Sage Tech. Take my stream here. I see a couple of people saying it froze up. I thought they were talking about the Note 10. You're talking about me. I don't know. I'm still up. Oh, he's saying it's buffering. Oh yeah, that might be a Google or YouTube thing. Yeah, YouTube's been acting weird for me here lately. Keep this up just so I can see just so I can get a feed of what's going on. But yeah, let me know if you have some more issues, and I'll try to see what I can do. All right. All right. Yeah, I'm here. Can anybody hear me? Is everything working right? All right. All right. What's up, Ishmael? Ishmael says yep. Bill Nye says yep. All right. So we're gonna power through. All right. But yeah, man. I guess, do y'all have any questions or anything y'all are curious about with the Note 10s at this point? So if y'all do, leave, drop it in the chat and, let me see. Say, which one am I getting? Of course, I'd have to get the larger version. I just wouldn't feel right otherwise. It does have expandable storage, which at 256 gigs, that's what I got on my OnePlus 7 Pro. And literally, right now, I just see something. I'm like, I might like that app, and I just install it, and I'm nowhere near it. Mostly because I don't like. I have a specific device I record video on for the most part. Everything else, I'm just taking pictures on, and all my pictures are backed up to Google Photos. So I'm not using a lot of storage for media, but as far as just app space, unless game developers or Samsung is using a lot of that space, I won't need more than 256 gigs. That's just the only problem I have with that. And the only reason I would prefer a micro SD card slot, if you've ever had to copy off data from a phone, from an Android phone anyway, it's slow. Like the transfer rates are very slow. And once you start getting up into, you got 100 gigs worth of data you're trying to transfer over, that'll take a long time versus if it was on a micro SD card. Like I got micro SD cards sitting around 128 gigs here and, stuff like that. So when I just have that data on there. If I want to transfer it, I pop it in the computer and I walk away. But to be tethered for your computer for an hour trying to transfer data off and stuff like that, that's just not my cup of tea. That's why I think the micro SD card is still superior, especially if I'm going phone to phone. Like that kind of brings back an issue we used to have where it's like if I drop my phone in the lake, that's 200 plus gigs of data that's gone, photos, videos, whatever. Even if you get the phone back and it's ruined versus the phone is destroyed, I drop it, crack the screen, it blows up. If I can pull that SD card out and pop it in something else, I'm good. I'm good to go. Let's see. Say says, what's your color choice? So at Best Buy, they had the Aura Glow, which everybody is kind of raving about right now. They had the Best Buy exclusive, the Aura Blue. They had the black and they had the white. To me, the white was really the cleanest. Like we don't have many white phones, like pure white. I'm not talking about like a weird pastel-y pearlescent color. I mean, it's like a solid white. They had one in the S10 model, but you had to pay out the nose to get the pure white because they only had it in the ceramic, which was the 512 gig version, which cost a grip. So for me, as of right now, I would get either the white or the black. Those are the ones that I would get. The Aura Glow is cool, but I don't know, it's just interesting. It's cool to see, but I wouldn't want to, like, I don't feel like I need to have that color. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's almost like having every color. It's kind of wild and trippy to look at. So if y'all got, let's see, I'm gonna look back and see what everybody said they were getting. if they were getting one. I know RP3 said he was getting a 10 plus. Say said he was getting the 10 plus 512. Anybody else looking at getting a Note 10? Um, if you are, what size and what color? What's going on, Shallow? Shallow says the Aura Glow, aka Zelda edition. Yeah, man, it looks wild, man. It really does. I think they kind of swung for the fences, but it's not. I know what it is. It's not as refined as some of the other colors, specifically the Huawei colors, where they have like the gradient that kind of transitions from one color gracefully to another one, and it might have a little sheen or something like that, but it's a lot more reserved. But that Aura Glow, it's like looking into a crystal almost, where it's like always changing colors. It's never, it's I don't know. I don't know how anything but a clear case can go on there because any color case you put on there is going to be kind of wild looking. Take for your niece says SD card. Also, SD card can also get corrupted. Is there a best way to go? Is there a best way? No, multiple backs is the way to go. I'm not really sure what you mean there. SD cards can get corrupted, but I mean that's rare. That's few and far between. We've been making SD cards for a decade now. They're pretty solid, unless you're doing weird stuff. Well, I don't know what that could be. Sage Tech says I have to get the black because it's the only 512 gig version. Yeah, that's weird, man. Like they're using the same exact casing for every phone. Why they? I don't understand why they have to. Why they have to pick and choose which color goes where and which variant gets which color. It's just a back. They're using the same casing. I don't know. Let's see. See 267 says next month. Soon that's when he's talking about getting his. Shallow says 10 plus 256 and Aura Glow. Thought about the blue or maybe the white, but I need to see them in person. Yeah, man. I don't know about you. When I went to Best Buy yesterday, Samsung guys were literally there setting up as I was getting there. And they were like, there was one guy, man. He was over the top. He was real giddy. And he's like talking about the features. And I'm like, yeah, I know about that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at that right now. He's like, oh man, it's amazing, isn't it? And he starts talking about the screen and stuff like that. And at that point, I didn't shut him down or nothing, but I kind of downplayed it because I'm like, I'm on the OnePlus 7 Pro. You know, I'm at QHD AMOLED with 90 hertz. This screen ain't touching what I got. But yeah, man. So if you got a Best Buy, I would say look there, of course, starting out. I don't know about carrier stores. I think they usually wait closer to the actual launch date before they, put the phone on display or something like that. Okay, take for your niece as backups. Yeah, backups are good. That's why I say that's what I do. As far as photos and videos, all that goes to Google Photos. Um, I really like OnePlus, and it's sad that Android doesn't have a universal solution for this. They just haven't done it yet, where all your stuff is just backed up, maybe to your Google Drive, to where when you get your phone, the only phones it sort of works like that with is a Pixel, but I think there should be a part of the core Android framework because almost everybody like LG has like LG Bridge or LG Switch or something like that. OnePlus has OnePlus Switch. Samsung has what's theirs called? Smart Switch or something like that. Everybody has their own custom solution, and once you go from one brand to another, it kind of falls apart. It doesn't really work that well. Let's see. Kia says I almost pre-ordered it, but nope. I just ordered A70 to go with my S10 Plus. Saving money for the Tab S6 and the Mate 30, and that's gonna be a hell of a combo. The Tab S6, the Mate 30 Pro, is almost like it's definitely gonna be a hold my beer moment when that Mate 30 Pro drops. I know that it's not gonna have it's gonna have like a little notch in the display, but I think that everything else is gonna just because they're trying. Like the Chinese manufacturers, they're swinging for the fences. They're trying hard every time. Where Samsung is definitely kind of cruising. Like they're changing some things and some others. They're really refining every year versus like real swinging for the fences, trying something new. and innovative. They're just kind of improving what they already have. Like the S Pen, like it's an improvement on last year's S Pen. Like it's not doing anything, you know, crazy. Design wise, this was the most drastic design change they've made in a while. But I mean, it's not. It's. I mean, it's definitely a feat. The way they were able to get the screen to go to the edges like that, to have the little bit of bezel they have going all the way around, even on the bottom. There's it's not much bezel at all. I don't know what the day to day usage would be like. I don't know how good the palm rejection is. It's gonna have to be amazing because it's literally like just holding a rectangle screen in your hands. But that was a feat of engineering. But it's not. It's really a different take on stuff everybody else has already been doing. Right? There's several phones with no, and everybody else is, they have the camera popping out the top in different ways. They've got something sliding up or flipping around or something. Everybody else is trying on. They've already iterated a couple times on trying to get rid of the front-facing camera, and so Samsung just kind of took the easy route. Simple camera. The hole is small, but I mean the camera's small. It's not amazing. Let's see. Go back to the chat. Shallow says, you would think the top spec would be a special edition color. Yeah, I thought that Aura Glow was going to be reserved for the, whoever paid the most money. I thought that was going to be reserved for the 256 gig Note 10 Plus. But apparently they have, I think, just the red maybe is going to be just the Plus edition, but that's only going to be in certain markets, of course. Then, of course, in a couple of months they'll come out with another color. But yeah, I really thought that Aura Glow was going to be they're calling it the flagship color because that's the one they show off in all the footage. But I thought they would have made it more special. But what do I know? Let's see. Chris Porter says flip phones in 2019 don't do it. Yeah, no flip phones, man. Let's see. 267 says 1999 my touch mobile sidekicks. I assume it means T-Mobile sidekick. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what that's in reference to, but yeah, sidekick was pretty cool. Ismail says, how's the battery on the 10 Plus? I know traditionally Samsung batteries get progressively worse after a couple of months. So I had a 10 Plus for a little over a month. I came from the Mate 20 Pro, and that was amazing battery life, best battery life I've ever seen. Like 7+ hours of screen on time. S10 Plus had a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, and it got good battery life. I was consistently getting 5 hours of screen on time, which was great. It was new though. Like I said, I didn't have it for several months, so I can't talk about the degradation of it. Standby time was okay. I feel like it was the same as every other Samsung I had, so kind of on the lower end of good. But the battery was so big, it wasn't able to impact it that much. The thing I would worry about would be the 3,600 milliamp hour battery in the smaller one. I don't know if they've optimized it. But smaller battery. Samsung Note devices specifically have a whole lot of software running in the background all the time. All the S Pen functionality. That stuff's gonna wear on the battery. So I don't know if they optimized around that. I assume that they would. I would hope so, but I don't know. I never assume that the Note is going to get the best battery life or Samsung's getting the best battery life anymore. I just can't make that assumption. Let's see. Chris Porter says good looking views then with them flip phone. Oh, okay. He going back and forth for 267. See Ishmael. Anyone see Huawei new OS? I'm very interested. Harmony OS, I think is what they're calling it. I don't know. I feel like if they were just going to make a replacement for their phones, that it would be good. Nobody's really been able to do the whole one OS across every device thing. And it seems like that's what they're shooting for. Supposedly they're going to put it on their phones and smart home devices, smart displays, refrigerators, everything. And those, I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical. I think they can do it because they have the market share to force developers to want their apps on those devices. But as far as how well it's going to work across all those devices, I don't know. But we've been surprised in the past. We'll see. Shallow says they tried crazy and folded. Yeah, that's true. But you got to keep swinging for the fences. That's what Samsung used to do. Samsung used to drop like 50 phones a year. They used to try everything. Phone with a camera attached, camera with a phone attached. A bendable phone before folding screens and all that stuff. Some of everything, man. They were trying something, man. Chris Porter says Huawei trash. Yeah, that's uneducated. Uh, no, he's never used the Huawei. That's what he just proved right there. MC2 Tech Review says August 23rd can't come quicker. Yeah, man, it's a lot of people excited about it. 267 says he getting the glow. And that glow, I think that glow is gonna be the winner, man. There's a couple other sleeper colors, but that glow is gonna be it for real. Sean says, how about the OnePlus 7 Pro battery life? Oh, the battery life is crazy. I don't even try. Just because I've been taking screenshots and stuff like that for my full review. Let's see. Go here and just pull up the type of life I've been living on this OnePlus 7 Pro here. All right, so what day was this? This was a couple days ago. So I've had the OnePlus 7 Pro for, I think, coming up on 4 weeks. I've had it. But last time I looked, I got 6 hours and 40 minutes of screen on time. And that's with everything maxed out. So that's 90 hertz. That's no adaptive display. That's the one thing that OnePlus is kind of weak in. Their adaptive display brightness is kind of wonky. It's weird. It hops around, and sometimes it's too dark and sometimes too bright and stuff like that. So I just usually set it at about 75%. That's running at QHD, 90 hertz, and then just living the life I live, which is crap load of messaging clients and 4 email accounts. Constantly using it, taking pictures. Just pushing it to the max, man. So 6 hours, 40 minutes of screen on time that day. And that was 16 hours of use. So that was, the end of the day. What time was it? At this point, I can't remember what time I took that screenshot. But I remember looking down and I was like, that's crazy because I don't baby it at all. Here's another one. I had 10% battery left at the end of 18 hours, and I had 6.5 hours screen on time. Here's another day, 17% left. This is 11 o'clock at night, and I was at 5 hours and 55 minutes. So if I would have kept going, I definitely would have been into the sixes, closer to 7 hours screen on time. So to me, that is great battery life because I just use the phone. I don't baby it. I don't turn off any features. I don't do anything special, no battery saving. And then the charging is ridiculous. It's like you plug it up and do anything. Like it don't matter what you do. Like plug it up and say, oh, I'm gonna grab me a sandwich. I'm gonna grab me a drink, run to the fridge. And you come back and it's like on 40, 50%. So that's the battery life is crazy. Let's see. Yeah, man, we're gonna probably have to put the reins on Chris and 267, man. See, Tech for Your Needs says, just wondering why Samsung Note 10 new design resemble the A series line. That is a mid of the line in Samsung. Well, Samsung uses the A line to sort of test the waters. That's kind of their experimental line. If you look, none of the devices look the same. You got some with slide up flipping cameras. You got some with display notches. You got some with the same kind of aura type backplate, but made of glastic, not plastic, but glastic or whatever. So they're really just kind of trying stuff with the A line. So I wouldn't be surprised if that trickles up, or I don't know what you call it when stuff flows up, but some of those features kind of appearing in some of their flagship models. Sage says, wish the S10 5G specs wouldn't top the Note 10 Plus though. Yeah, I don't know what the specs are going to be besides 5G on the Note 10 Plus. I mean, on the Note 10 5G, because I assume that's going to be their real top of the line model, and of course they might have some special colors for it. RP3 says going for the unlocked version end of the month. Yeah, I'm probably gonna hold out for a little bit. They're doing the trade-ins, but I'm gonna get the smaller one for my wife, and they're doing a little trade-in right now for the S9 Plus, but it's okay. It's not really great, and I know usually if they see that pre-orders aren't really happening, well, they'll do something and they'll start another deal. And so I'm thinking they might do that. And I might, if something happen, I might kind of hop on that. Lakers for Life, what's going on? It says Note 10 Plus is the real deal, but Note 10 not a bad choice. Yeah, the Note 10. So there are a lot of buy one get ones. I think that if you wait until launch, you'll see the price plummet. I know Verizon's doing buy one get one, T-Mobile's doing buy one get one. So the resale, there's gonna be a lot of people just trying to recoup some of that money. So check out the swappers, the eBays, and you'll see some going for some prices. I think that's if you're not trying to capitalize. If you're coming straight out of pocket, definitely wait till after launch. If you're not doing a trade-in, do not buy, do not pre-order, because after launch, all these buy one get ones, their price gonna plummet, especially on a little one. Yeah, that's gonna be gravy. Let's see, Easy. What's going on, Easy? We're just talking about you earlier, man. All good stuff though. Yeah. RB3 says, what's good, Easy? But yeah, man, it's definitely it's an interesting device. Of course, you want to know how it holds up over time. As of right now, Rob, when you get that unlock one, I know you know the struggle. You're gonna be March next year getting Android Q. You're gonna be the last if you get that unlock model. That's how that's how Samsung rolls, man. Outside of that, it seems like it's gonna be a cool device. Like I said, I haven't played around with it too much. Just played around with it at Best Buy, and I've just been interested to see what other people are doing. Like that Mate 30 Pro, like I'm excited about that. Like after using the Mate 20 Pro, and that was like I came from the Note 9 to the Mate 20 Pro and went to the S10 Plus and sold S10 Plus in like a month because it was my original plan was to never keep the Mate 20 Pro, but to just see kind of what was going on, to see how I would feel about maybe getting the Mate 30 Pro when it came out. But I always plan on getting the S10 Plus just to trade in toward the Note 10. Like that was the only reason I was going to get it. But in the meantime, of course, I can make some footage and make some content. But when I had the phone, it was just so boring. Like it just wasn't interesting, and also it wasn't the best at many things. Like it wasn't the best battery. I was shocked how okay the pictures were coming from the Huawei, and I haven't even owned a Pixel yet. Like I'm looking for a little cheap Pixel to pick up just so I can play with this camera. But I mean, there were some things to be desired with the S10 Plus for real. So I ended up getting rid of it because I started seeing the writing on the wall with the Note, getting rid of the headphone jack. And there's other things that ended up not being true. I'm still not sure about the MST for Samsung Pay. They didn't really mention that, but it's really, I don't know, man. It might be Huawei's year. They can back clean up because their sales have already gone up. Even though the revenue dropped, phone sales have gone up after all of the kind of the US ban talk. So I don't know. We're gonna see. I know they're gonna be swinging for the fences because they said it. I remember when Huawei said when they got the contract for the Nexus 6P, and nobody knew who Huawei was outside of a little trap phone maker. Huawei said, in 5 years we're gonna be number one. They on track. So let's see. Say says S10 5G have a bigger battery and more cameras. Oh yeah, don't know. I forgot about that. The reason why I say the Note 10, the regular one, should be 750, right? The specs of it line up more with the S10e than even the regular S10. The S10 has a 2K display. The S10 has a headphone jack, right? Like it's really closer to an S10e as far as, it's got a 1080p display, the AMOLED. That's the, of course they got the S Pen, but is the S Pen really worth? Like, is this really worth? I mean, guys, you can get a Note 10. I mean, get an S10 for like high sixes right now. That's like brand new. If you pay $7, is this phone really $250 better than the regular S10? Is the pen worth that? In case you're wondering, that's a hell no, right? So I don't know. They got some, you got a micro SD card on the regular S10. Got a headphone jack. I mean, you got everything else about the same. Let's see. Safontek says MST still around. He asked about it. Cool. Because that was really a no-go for me. But I got a Gear S3, so I'm good on the MST front. Shella says, I thought sure the Note was going to be the 5G with a pen, but they crippled it and no 90 hertz. And the no 90 hertz is a big, I think they're going to regret that. I wouldn't be shocked if Apple didn't do a high refresh rate on an iPhone this year. I mean, it's just so like everybody's doing it. Everybody who makes a device and they're like, yeah, this is the high end, whatever. I mean, it's almost like a cheat code. Like if you put a high refresh rate on the screen on a device, it instantly feels smoother. Instantly. Like animations, transitions, everything just feels smoother. Scrolling feels smoother. Even if you have if you have two devices that perform the same, the one 90 hertz visually is going to look smoother. It's a cheat code. And the fact that they didn't do that versus some of the other stuff, like I guarantee you they could have made up the difference by not doing that Microsoft deal. Like whatever they paid or whatever, deals they're trying to sew up, nobody cares about DeX like that. DeX is cool. I use it on my tablets I think it's great on tablets, but as far as using your phone for DeX, why? And then this year they're doing the whole DeX as an app thing, where like you plug up your phone to a computer with the OS on it. Like before, it was already kind of nobody's ever going to do that. It's like, yeah, if you just happen to have a desk with a monitor and a keyboard and a mouse on it, you can plug up your phone and all that stuff, and now you have a computer. It's like, no, if I have a desk with a keyboard and a mouse and a screen on it, I probably got a computer plugged up already. Like I'm never going to come across that situation. It's never going to be a thing. But on the tablets, it's clearly a difference maker. I feel like for the Tab S6, they should have bumped it up to 11 inches. 10.5 is, I don't know why they're sticking to that. But if they bump it up to 11 inches, I think they did good. They put a trackpad on the keyboard. And I like still kind of not sure how I feel about the S Pen storage, how it's magnetic on the back. All the cases kind of account for it. I think that's better than just having to stick on the side and be kind of out willy-nilly. But on the back, it's kind of weird. Like I'm wondering what they could have done with that space on the back that they created a little indentation for the S Pen. I don't know. But I definitely think if they keep pushing the Tab S6 with DeX on there, because there's even a Linux client you can run on DeX and have Linux install packages, full desktop browsing. It's very capable. They just need to make sure they put the hardware in there, which they did this year, and push it the right way. Like they need a bigger one though. They need like 11 or 12-inch one. That would be a viable laptop replacement because it's easily better than an iPad Pro and their kind of makeshift files options. Like iPad is just putting that on there. Samsung could have been come the game they had 11 or 12-inch version, and you plug up a flash drive, drag all your stuff over, do whatever you want to do. It could have been a lot closer to a mid-tier PC replacement. But yeah, no 90 hertz on the Note 10. That's a fail. Shallow Unicorn says Note 10e. Yeah, that's what it feels like, man. It feels like a compromise. See, Tony Person says no one talking about the 3D scanning and not much shown on the release. Yeah, the 3D scanning. So, like I said, I kind of played with most of the camera options, and they all work pretty well. Like, I was shocked. They were very well polished. Like I said, I was the most worried about the live focus video because that's something that is no other device that's sold in America can do right now. I don't think. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the live focus video, like, it's an instant. Like, it's sort of like the difference between a regular selfie and a portrait selfie. Like, it's an instant. Like, oh, that looks a lot better. Like, that's better. Like, now you can do it in video. That's going to be the way that people take. That's going to be where you take video now. Like, if you're doing video of people, oh, live focus. Why not? Almost every picture I take of people is a portrait. Granted, my baby did get bokeh out the other day, so I gotta work on that. But they just look better. Let's see. Tony says, would love to see 3D scan samples. I might do that. Since it is going to be a while before the phone drops, I'll probably go back up to Best Buy and kind of be that weird guy that's sitting there, and because the samples of all that stuff working, like the 3D scanning, the stuff where you can use the pen to write notes and have that kind of in like an AR kind of situation where like you attach it to something or some of that stuff, get some real samples of that and seeing how well it works. Because like I said, it looks cool, but of course it's only an advertisement. So I want to see how it really works. Phone Tech says G8 can do it. So you're talking about the live focus video? The G8 can do it? I might have to check that out. Yeah, because that was pretty dope. But then the front face camera, I think once people start doing the camera reviews and all that stuff, they'll kind of see the front face of camera looks good. That's always been kind of a weak spot for Samsung. But like I said, on that Note 10, it looked pretty good. I'll say that. But yeah, guys, we coming up on an hour. Like I said, I know it's 2:00. I really appreciate y'all for rocking out with me, joining me in the middle of your day. Making sure I touched on everything I want to touch on as far as Note 10. I do have some more stuff I got to check out with it. Oh, well, yeah, I got a crap load of cases and stuff. I have to see about getting the Note 10 Plus, at least so I can do some of these case reviews. Because I got a Note 10 and some cases for it, but they sent me some Note 10 Plus stuff. And so I have to see about getting something. But yeah, man. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go. Like I said, once again, before y'all head out, hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And I'm gonna see y'all next time, man. Once again, I appreciate y'all joining. I'm a tech gentleman, and I'm out. Peace.